Series 4 is over, and in that time I've managed a pitiful 3 podcasts. I got as far as Planet of the Ood. But I do have some more ideas, including one I've already mentioned, people's names turning up in her episodes. I only had one story relating to that. So if you have a story about when a character with your name turned up in the show and how that made you feel, please write in, let me know. The address is min_dw@yahoo.co.uk. Now that the series is over, I thought I'd tell you about a little experiment that I did at the start, and tried to get it as a thread going on the Outpost Gallifrey forum, but it didn't catch on. Anyway, this is how it works. You take the previous 3 series and you do an average for each episode. So you take Rose, New Earth and Smith & Jones, whatever you rated those stories, you then do an average. So for me that was 7 for Rose, 5 for New Earth, 7 for Smith & Jones, giving an average of 6.3. Then you give each writer from each of the previous series an average rating. So RCD 6.3, not a big fan of his. Helen Rayner 7, yes, I did like the Dalek story from last year. Stephen Greenhorn 6, not a big fan of Lazarus Experiment. Gareth Roberts 7, and Stephen Moffat 8. And then I averaged these out, so the position in the series, in the season, and who wrote it, to come up with predictions for season 4. So what did I come up with? Well, unsurprisingly, Stephen Moffat turned out to be up there. His episodes were the ones that I was most expecting to be good. Then Planet of the Ood also was supposed to be high on my list for coming 3rd in the season, even though we didn't know anything about the writer. And the Sontaran story, again, I was looking forward to that. The season was also destined to start poorly and end in the same way. Would I be right or wrong? Let's take a look. So episode 1, Partners in Crime. Would it live up to the previous heights of Rose and Smith & Jones, or would it plummet to being a clunker like New Earth? Well, as I said before, it's one of the ones I have reviewed on this podcast. I thought it was just a little bit too much to try and fit in, and it ended up being a little bit too silly. But it was rescued, as always, by Bernard Cribbins. Prediction, 6.3. I gave it a 6. Okay, on to episode 2, The Fires of Pompeii. Well, here we had an unknown writer. We had a location that had been done before on audio. And if you're wondering what the Freudian slip was a couple of episodes back, that was it. I referred to The Fires of Pompeii as The Fires of Vulcan, which was the Big Finish audio story. So, would this ascend to the heights of Tooth and Claw and the fun Shakespeare Code? Or would it be like The End of the World, which I thought was a pretty poor second episode when the series was revived back in 2005? Well, I was pleasantly surprised. This one did better than I expected. Had a great plot. The moral dilemma involved was brilliantly acted. I think it was perhaps a little bit ambitious, the whole volcano thing, but it worked very well. Prediction, 6.3. I gave it 7. Episode 3, Planet of the Ood. And again, another writer new to the series, and the promise of the truth about the Ood race. This has been quite a reliable slot in the revival of the series so far, in my opinion, with The Unquiet Dead, School Reunion and Gridlock, all of which I really enjoyed. I was a bit apprehensive that this one wouldn't live up to that standard, but it passed with flying colours. I love this story, one of the best. In fact, I think this is the highest rated story for me of the season. Actually, no, it's not. It's one of 2 the highest rated of the season. Prediction 7, I gave it an 8.